Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. It is T News time. Liverpool facing West Ham in the London Stadium. 4:30 kick-off. We are just under an hour away and the team news is out. I'm going to bring it to you right now. Mr. Alisson Becker in goal. Andy Robertson comes back at left back after getting a little rest midweek after Costa Simicas put in a decent performance. Everyone was pretty happy with that. Van Dijk and Matip, I think the partnership that we all wanted to go for has stuck and is staying. Trent is at right back in the middle of the park. We didn't have much choice really, did we? Hendo, Fabinho at the base of that midfield and Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think the only question mark really was whether Thiago could start, whether he's fit enough, whether it's a fitness thing or whether it's a performance thing, because I think Oxlade-Chamberlain put in a good shift in as well. Fabinho, having him there makes me feel a lot better about life and about things. You know, the fact that he's got that base there. Oxlade-Chamberlain can do what he wants to go and do. Without having to worry behind him and kind of track back. He can have a bit more fluidity to his game. Same with Jordan Henderson. We know he'll track back. I think that midfield battle will be interesting. We'll get to West Ham's lineup pretty shortly, so we'll see how that gets on. And in the front three, not really much of a choice either because Bobby Firmino's out with a hamstring injury, so it's Mane, Jota and Salah. Maybe contentions. People would have suggested Divock Origi for this game, but not me. On the bench, Kelleher, Simicas, Nat Phillips, Canate, Thiago, Williams, Origi, Taki and Tyler Morton is the other one. Obviously Curtis Jones misses out still with a black eye, obviously still injured. Yeah, as I said before, I think the back five picks itself really. Midfield, we don't have a lot of options currently because we've got people dropping like flies. This is a massive game. Be interesting to see how we get on in this one. Errol, I think the midfield three is probably the only place where there is a slight question mark. I would love to see Thiago start this game, but like I said, is it a fitness thing? Is it the fact that Oxlade-Chamberlain had a good game, or is it a bit of both?
I think it's got to be a fitness thing, if I'm completely honest with you. He mustn't be 100% ready to start games at the minute for us. I think it's always great that we can have him to bring on as that kind of tool if we need to utilise someone to kind of control the tempo of the game and kind of take a game away from people in terms of the way that he can retain the ball and drop his shoulder. But for me, if he was fit, 100%, if he was fully match fit, 100% he starts today. I think Ox has been good. You know, he stepped up definitely in midweek, but I wanted to see that combination of Henderson, Thiago and Fabinho, I'm not going to lie. Like, that's what I'm dying to see, get a run of games.
Is that our best midfield, that three?
On paper.
Yeah.
On paper, I think, well, there's an argument that you could say Naby.
But everyone keeps going, well. Fabinho, Thiago, Naby. And it's like, but I think it's Jordan Henderson, Thiago and Fabinho.
Yeah, I think you can't, none of those other players that you mentioned can replicate what Jordan Henderson brings to the squad in terms of his leadership, in terms of how vocal he is, in terms of that intensity he brings, and he'll never back away from a tackle. Whereas, not saying Thiago or Naby will or the Ox would as well, but they're just not the same in the way that they've got that intensity and that desire almost to kind of grab the game by the scruff of the neck. So for that purpose, he's a bit like an enforcer. Do you know what I mean? He's happy to do that. He's happy to be an extra presence on the pitch.
I suppose it depends who you're playing, which is the best there, because you don't really need a Jordan Henderson in there if you're going to go back a bit more attacking there, because Keita would be a good option for that.
Yeah, exactly. So it just depends. It's horses for courses, but at the minute we haven't even really got the horses in the stable to kind of get out there to show what they can do.
What a great analogy that was.
No, it's true. We're literally running with ponies at the minute, man. Yeah. But no, I think it'd be nice to just see the Ox kind of build on the momentum now. You know, you've set a bit of a marker down to say this is the level, this is my foundation, this is where I'm at right now in terms of fitness and in terms of application. You need to improve on that week by week. So if you're going to get that place, you need to make it your own in that sense for me.
Yeah, 100%. Just got a quick look at West Ham's team here as well. Obviously their team is out, so I can just show the screen. I can't tell because the monitor's not on, but we'll just go with it anyway. Fabianski, Johnson, Zuma, Ogbonna and Cresswell. Rice, Souček, Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals and Antonio up top. Areola, Dawson, Kufal, Diop, Musaku, Fredericks, Kral, Noble and Lanzini make up the substitutes bench for them. What we're plugging out and taking in? This? Okay, thank you very much. He did his best to do sign language there and I completely just messed that up. So, we were talking just before we started recording, Errol. Like, I'm quite nervous for this because we did the build-up show and it's like West Ham, you kind of think, I don't really ever think anything's ever an easy 3 points, but it's somewhat harder than what it has been. Like our record there is pretty decent. I think it was like 2016 I have to go back to, maybe it was a bit further than that. I did it on the build-up show where like they actually beat us. One was an FA Cup game, one was a league game, but it feels like they're a different proposition. Back end of last season it was kind of like just stop scoring goals and stop, we want to get in top four here. Obviously they did drop off, but they continued that form the season. I said David Moyes deserves a lot more respect than I think that he's had in previous years.
I mean,
as a manager, come on.
You've got to respect what he's doing at the moment in terms of current form.
Why did you smile then?
Because it's still David Moyes, he doesn't beat us.
No, I'm not saying let him beat us. I'm just saying for what he's achieved as a manager there, having gone back.
It took a lot of balls to go back after they binge you in the first place, you know what I mean? They come running back to you like, I'm sorry I broke up with you, take me back.
We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah, we've all been there. It takes a lot of credit for him to go and do that, but at the same time, he hasn't got a great record against coming when he comes up against us. My only reservation at the moment is the games where we've dropped points this season. No, we haven't lost, but we've kind of dropped points. And the Brentford game, it was like, we just didn't do enough to take it away from you and kill off the game. That Brighton game's kind of felt like we got away with one.
Yeah.
The way that this West Ham team are playing, I don't think we can afford to get away with one, because I think they would be able to punish us on their current form.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so happy to see Fabinho in that starting 11, because that fills me with confidence to just say, he's going to show it up.
Yeah.
He's going to be the shield. He's going to be that anchor for us. And he'll start the press moving forward as well, do you know what I mean? In terms of getting us on the front foot, getting out of the back. So
that midfield battle's going to be interesting. I mentioned it up there, but midfield. Rice and Souček are, not only the tall physical battlers, but technically they're pretty decent. Well, in fact, they're very good on the ball as well.
That's why Henderson's a good player to be in these games, because I think he will match whatever they bring and throw at him. He'll be like, all right, I'll see yours and I'll raise it.
Yeah, it's also important, Errol. It's a bit of a 6-pointer. Obviously, West Ham are 2 points behind us in the league table up here. But also, you're talking about the Brighton game, they're not capitalising on a Manchester City loss. Last weekend, Chelsea dropped points
yesterday.
It's a bit always like Burnley, by the way. Always rated them.
Sure,
yeah, I told you he was decent. Just Burnley doing us a favour there, but it's only a favour if we capitalise on this opportunity and try and make up that little small gap that there is. So what were they on 26?
Yeah.
We'll be on 25. Going into an international break, A, to be unbeaten, A, to be a point behind, and B, to go up C. Sorry, with a win.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching videos last night. People were saying, Liverpool fans will be celebrating tonight that Chelsea have lost. I'm like, no, we won't. No. We'll only start to celebrate sort of if we get our job done on the Sunday. We can't celebrate prematurely and think, just because Chelsea have dropped points now, it's in the bank for us. Like, you can't look past this West Ham team. They've got ambitions themselves, which has probably been like one of the things that's probably changed in their mentality. That big mentality shift for them is the ambitions that they've got for themselves now. They've been doing well in Europe. I think, did they draw? Maybe the comments will let us know if they drew midweek. Was it 2-2? Yes, they drew. Maybe, but they've had a good start to their group as well, do you know what I mean?
Is that a slight advantage for us in the fact that they've been away on a Thursday night in European away? And
we was at home.
We was at home on Wednesday, but where we've got a squad and players that are kind of used to playing 2 times a week.
It might be, but for them it might just be that it's an extra adrenaline thing for them. The fact that they are in that competition now and they've seemed to have levelled up and they're kind of holding their weight in their group. So you'd like to think that they've got a little bit of tired legs, they've had a little bit less rest, but I wouldn't get complacent thinking that going into it, thinking, they're going to be knackered when it comes to Sunday R4, because they probably won't. In that respect, a lot of the players that they have are going to be, they're still international footballers. Do you know what I mean? Souček's an international for his team, Antonio's an international for his national team. So there's still a lot of good in Declan Rice, do you know what I mean? There's still a lot of...
Trent's not.
No, Trent's just got picked.
Oh, did he get picked? Sorry.
Trent got picked. Figio got dropped. Who was it that got dropped? I know Sancho got dropped and somebody else from their side got dropped as well, but it is what it is. That's Man U shit. Okay. But no, ultimately, I'm just kind of wanting us to... This is, to me, if we could do a big performance, like, I know we beat Man U 5-0 and then the Brighton, but this one for me would be a really good marker to be like, the teams that we should still be beating and putting away, especially in that bracket between 6th to 10th, maybe 6th to 10th, 6th to 10th, maybe 6th to 12th. They're the ones that we're going to put away, and we're going to dismantle them quite comfortably. That'd give me a lot of confidence, because I think on our day we can go toe to toe with all of our nearest rivals and competitors. The ones that have caused us a little bit of wobble are going to be those mid-table teams that think, let's get pumped up for playing Liverpool today and let's give it our all. And if we can take it away from them, we've got 4 draws already this season. Yeah. So we need to start turning those draws into wins and finding ways to do it.
You're right, but 2 of those against
City and Chelsea.
But they were both at home, those weren't they? So we'll see. Keep your thoughts and your comments coming. I'm going to read some of them out now, and I'll get some more topics that I want to cover ahead of the game. Where was it? Glenn Parsons says, will Miles better than them. If we play at their best and we play at ours, we win 3-0 easily. Someone else saying #moms for Ox, which is obviously a continuation of Wednesday night. Shout out Errol's mum, Christine, by the way. Hello, how are you doing? Greens for Texas, let us know where you are as well in the comments. Lots of people say they would never pick Ox over Thiago. Well, we've obviously discussed that already.
He mustn't be fit though, he mustn't be.
Either that or, I think Klopp post-match stuff was kind of saying that he needs a decent run of games to find his rhythm again, which is a bit of a shame because he's coming to form and it's going to be an international break now, so it's great that he played well on Wednesday. He might play great again today, but then there's a break,
and he's not going to go to the
and he's going to have competition coming back by that time as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think they both need that running game, so maybe now this is just Ox's, what he's been penned in for. This is going to be your run of games, provided you can stay fit and your forms of the level that we're expecting. And then as and when we'll bring Thiago in for his run of games, it might be a little bit like that. You don't know how.
Exactly. Don't risk Thiago. If Ox and someone's there fit, who's at like 90% don't play someone who's at 70%.
We don't know how he's going to have to manage this midfield at the minute. He's literally slim pickings. So
some back to your comments in the Discord group. Obod 2512, but I can't even read. Said the West Ham team are good. We can't take this run of games for granted. I think this is our toughest game since City. I'll take a scrappy 1-goal win. Yeah, take that. Scott T said I think this is the toughest game of the season yet. Form-wise, West Ham may be the best team in the league, but probably yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that you're probably overrated them a little bit. They're up there. They're up there, though. Joe, to be the top 3, top 4. They are up there.
Let's just throw back to Liverpool's team 1 second there as well. We've talked about the midfield. I don't think the defence is. Anyone's got any questions about that? I saw someone said they picked Canate, but fine. If Matip's fit, which I've been really pleasantly surprised with. Still, by the way, how fit he's been. 2 things for me. Obviously, the front 3 picks itself because there's nobody else. But on the back of that, the bench doesn't. I don't want mean to be negative here. I'm just having discussion points of if something's not going right or not going our way, I don't see many game changes on that bench. And I don't mean to. Thiago's obviously world class. I'd love to see him in there. Taki, when he comes on, has looked pretty sharp. I think he can obviously do a job. I'm still not sold on Divock Origi, but and then below that, you're looking at a couple of centre backs. Tsimikas at left back, who I think's a bit harsh, and obviously Morton, who's a kid. That can be the difference in big games like this, Errol.
Yeah, no, you probably look at the West Ham. If you looked at the West Ham bench, they probably have a stronger one. Maybe you could argue, minus the likes of Thiago. Yeah, they might have more threats off the bench to bring on. But for me, the one thing that the injuries has brought us now is a huge opportunity for that front 3. We know Jota was the guy that would rotate between Firmino and Mane and switch in and out. Now it's time for either Taki or I think it's probably, if I had to place me bets, it'd be on Taki to say, right, I'm going to be that guy to step up to rotate between Jota and Mane for the next 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever the period of time Firmino's out for. But I need to be able to make sure that when I come on, I take my opportunities. So even if he is getting 20 minutes here and there in the next couple of weeks, he's kind of got to come on and make an impact. Do I believe he could do it? I'm really hopeful for him, to be honest. So far, he's looked good this season. He's got himself about. He's looked sharp. He's scored a few goals. So I think in terms of his confidence, that's come back. He's obviously fit, so we can utilise him as and when we need to. I wouldn't say I'm excited to see it. I'm apprehensive, if I'm completely honest, because I don't want us to going to that point where you're just heavily relying on Salah to score every single week. I like that. But
also, you don't want to go into a game where people do this, by the way, of it's Taki Minamino, hopefully that he fails, so you can kind of prove your point. The hopeful and apprehension is because we still don't know, do we really?
Still unknown quantity, do you know what I mean? But I don't want us to be overly reliant. I want the whichever front 3 we pick, that complement to be free flowing and all of them getting opportunities to score. I just hope that when he gets drafted in, because we're going to need him, Jota's going to need a rest in a couple of weeks, Mane might need a rest, obviously, but you can say that January period, the Firmino's only just coming back, and then you're going to have the AFCON, so he is going to have a big part to play this season, one way or another. I'm just hopeful that he can deliver some real quality where it matters most.
And also hopeful that the front 3 stay fit.
Yeah.
Which you said before we start recording, it made me feel sick. Oh, Jota stays fit. Fucking hell, nice one. It's doom and gloom. We could be having the same conversation about, and we have had the same conversation, Errol, about Divock Origi.
Yes, yeah.
He's a lot more experienced than Taki Minamino, and certainly in the Premier League. He's found himself on the fringes. Okay, AC Milan is a great example. Come and do your job. Yeah. Whatever. We're going to need more of that, because it's great there's an international break, but if Bobby's going to be out for 6-7 weeks, we can't go Jota all the time.
We can't. No, he's been that rotation player for us. So for me personally, those two lads have got a really good opportunity to stake a claim for the business end of the season, if anything else, and obviously that busy January period with the AFCON and Salah and Mane going away on international duties for their competitions. So with that in mind, they should be licking their lips thinking, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. This is the chance to make that Liverpool shirt my own a little bit. I have been a fringe player and I've had to accept that role because you're not getting in over a Mane, you're not getting in over a Salah. But, Bobby has been rotated with Jota to show, so that does show that there is space and movement between those two players predominantly. And now Jota's that mainstay. He can't play week in, week out for 7-8 weeks.
And even for Divock Origi,
we don't want to risk him.
No, even for Divock Origi, it might be a case of I've got an opportunity to play myself into the shop window.
Yeah, exactly.
Newcastle have got over the cash behind them. You could be
even attacking. Newcastle's all good with attacking. Both of their players should be putting themselves in that shop window to say.
Nat Phillips.
No.
Are you keeping hold of him?
No, I'm keeping hold of Big Nat.
Okay, so
I like me.
You might want to pick up ball. Mitchell Costello, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chats. It's happy for Ox. Hope this gives him the confidence to kick on. Let's go Reds. Much love from California to you guys at Redmen.
Yes.
You never walk alone.
Love
and thank you for supporting him wherever you are in the world. I just touch on Ox again. Again, it's similar to what we said about Taki. I'm never hopeful someone doesn't put in a decent performance. I want him to do well. I think he showed signs. I keep referring to this pre-season game. I think it was. I was either Osasuna or Athletic Club that we played, and I was like, oh my god, like where have you been? Yeah, where have you been? And then it's like, oh, nothing for like 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, and they showed glimpses. I think Athletic in midweek he was decent.
Yeah, I think that was probably arguably his best game for us since his big injury, really. In terms of the intensity, he had a few sloppy passes early on, but it didn't really affect his game. He just kept going, and I think he just grew into the game, and he actually it was mad because the game before, in the Brighton game, he come on as a substitute for Keita. He does the assist, but then does fuck all else for the rest of the game. Whereas he was quite integral in terms of down that left hand side, and how he was working the ball and making plays and runs and driving at people. So I was like, that's the Ox that like the crowd love. Do you know what I mean? The Anfield faithful love the Ox when he's like on his day doing those kind of runs with that kind of intention. So it's just for me consistency. I think that's going to be the maker or breaker of his season for me. He can't afford a season of fits and starts. He has to get to that level and then grow on, because that's what he did that first season for us. He didn't come in and like hit the ground running. He wasn't like setting the world alight. He slowly, gradually got to a certain level, and then once he got to that level, he didn't drop underneath it. Klopp was like, well, I can't not use you, and he used you all the way until that Roma semi-final, and then he got injured, do you know what I mean? So that's what he needs to rediscover for me.
Someone else, Liam Keane, just pointing out, St. Chambers scored his first goal for Liverpool at London Stadium. I think he's got a really good record there, actually. He seems to pop up with a goal all the time. So, two more things before we go. 2 bits of housekeeping I want to make people aware of. One is our new Christmas jumper. There's about 3 options, and there might be some more coming later on today, but this one has absolutely flown out the blocks. Feliz Navidad, and every time I sing the song it gets stuck in my head. But I go, Feliz Navidad, it's stuck in my head. There'll be a link in the description and in the live chat. You want to get yourself one of those, absolutely flying out. Make sure you get your orders in, because it take a couple of days to print, and now it's a couple of days to get shipped, even longer depending on where you are in the world. And the other one is it's a free month on Redmen TV, or Redmen Plus, sorry. So you get a 3-month subscription if you type in the code Redmen Plus at checkout for the £5 club captain level. So you get hours of documentaries, interviews. We're going to do the instant match reaction after this show. I'm going to be doing the final word tomorrow. There's a round of the league. There's the debate show. There's Neil Jones. There's absolutely loads going on. So there's international break. There's nothing going on. You don't want to watch England. You don't want to watch crappy international football, because let's face it, it's boring. There's like hundreds of hours of content you can go and get for free. So you get it free for a full month. Whether you do it today, whether you do it tomorrow, whether you do it the day after, and it'll keep you busy and entertained. So make sure you can sign up. There's like hundreds of people done it so far in the past week. So it's obviously going down pretty well. So make sure you go and check out. Have a look about what we're about. You can also get it on your native podcast app. So when you sign up, you get an email. It'll give you a link with the description on how to do that as well, so you can get your fill of Redmen content and more of Errol in your life. Who doesn't want that? There we go. Sound. So we're going to be back with the watch long in.
Let us know your score predictions as well.
Minutes. Oh yeah, get your score predictions in. We'll do that on the next show, actually. Score predictions as we head into that. So yeah, we're going to have a watch along at 4:15, 15 minutes build up towards the game. Liverpool taking on West Ham at London Stadium. We're going to watch the last 5 minutes of Arsenal, who are currently beating Watford by 1-0.
I think they had the man sent off. I can see a little red thing underneath, but I don't know what happened.
No. busy making content. We'll catch up on that. Thank you very much for listening and for watching. Don't forget to check back in at 4:15 for the watch long. And go and sign up. You've got 25 minutes, a bit more longer, to go and sign up to redmentv.com right now and get your 3-month subscription. We'll see you very shortly. Ta-ra.
Thanks for watching the show. If you want more Redmen TV goodness in your life, go over and join Redmen Plus. We've got over 30 new shows every single month. We've got documentaries, interviews, exclusives, and tons more. If you join us as a club legend, you'll even get your name over here. So head on over to redmentv.com and join Redmen Plus.